Okay, so this subject comes up quite often, if not every time, in a sales interview with an advisor and a client. And I thought I'd give a little depth of understanding for training purposes and just basic information. The question is, what really happened to employer-sponsored pension plans? And up until about 1980, employer-funded pension plans were struggling, but they were still in existence. There was a myriad of issues chipping away at pension plans up to this point. An aging workforce was cashing in. Federal vesting rights for workers was taking its toll. High costs for mandated third-party fiduciary administration, investment costs, commissions, market losses, they all played a role in benefit woes for corporations. Back then, and even to this day with a few that may be remaining, an employer with a federally qualified pension plan had to bear all the costs plus any shortcomings due to unforeseeable or even market risks. This means if the pension fund invested money in bad investments, the company had to guarantee its money for its retirees. On top of all that, in the late 70s, there was a string of corrupt CEOs, pension managers, that decided to use the pension fund assets as their own personal use and stole millions. While it may not be for personal use, it is somewhat like what Congress has been doing with Social Security Fund today, secretly creating side doors and back doors to extract the people's money held in trust. Then, about 1980, Congress passed legislation for contributions into an employer's 401k and allowed it to be tax-free or pre-tax. This meant money that went into a 401k was not taxed for withholding on an employee's paycheck. Many workers found they were lowered into smaller tax brackets, paid less tax, and the early thought was this seemed to be a good deal. This also meant if an employee participated in a 401k, the money he deducted from his paycheck to put into the 401k reduced his income. And since it reduced his income, it also reduced the employer's payroll tax contributions. Now, this doesn't seem like much, but when you multiply that across a couple of hundred or maybe 1,000 employees, this became a win-win for the employer. By using a 401k, they no longer had to pay or guarantee pension fees, shortcomings of payments, administration fees, cookie jar stealing, corruption. Huge responsibility for retirement income was now shifted to the employee. And B, the benefits and tax benefits were so favorable to the employer that the more the employee contributed, the better off they became, with almost no liability compared to a pension plan. Now remember, pensions at retirement time back in the day was a huge benefit for retirees. Some retirees were getting 2 to 3 times what they were getting in Social Security in the way of pension checks. Few employees understood the long-term effects, and fewer understood what it meant to loss of income at retirement time when it came to 401k. This was all masked and baited with a cash account the employee was led to believe he was in full control of. He felt a little bit greedy and empowered, while not realizing what they were really losing in the way of guaranteed income. There were many other side effects by the demise of the pension plans that actually hurt industries and stable workforce. The real pain is just now starting to be realized and take effect with these cash accounts that people dip into, robbing of their retirement security. The sad news is, every year since the change in the 401k law went into effect, the national average for retirement income has decreased year after year, and there are now more solely dependent on Social Security than ever before. In hindsight, the question frequently comes up, was the loss of the employer pension a good thing Maybe for the corporation that had to pay for it and be the adult in the room, but for the average middle-class employee, not so much. This is the number one reason we set up private pensions as much as we do. Security, guaranteed income for life, just like Social Security. Income that never ends, and it don't matter how much was paid in. All guaranteed benefits from a time gone by, being brought back one sale at a time. And for the buyers that get it and take advantage, it will pay dividends endlessly for themselves at retirement time with income for life, never to be outlived.